So I guess just general thoughts, impressions on the camp. How do you feel like the group did as a whole?
Really happy with it. First of all, just the way it was operated. I think Riley and Schultz and the staff did a great job. Each day kind of had a purpose, and you could see it kind of transition from the first practice to the second. They're able to utilize it. So I think we try to throw a lot at these kids. Some of the first-time guys take a little bit to get going and a little bit nervous early, and they find their groove. And I think the veteran guys, Tyson and Andre, and a number of the guys that have been around, did a real good job just kind of making guys feel comfortable.
Yeah, Emil Andre, every time you watch him, are you pretty impressed just at what he can do for a player his
Yeah,
size?
to be honest with you, he hasn't changed much since he's 18 years old. Such a smart player. I'm really excited to see him with NHL players. I just think he's such a smart kid, and so poised and competitive that, I think he'll make a pretty good impression in camp, is my guess.
Do you guys know where he's going to play this year yet?
Well, he'll be at camp for sure. There is an option, but I think we'll speak to his people, and to me, he's pretty close to challenge for a spot full time. So if it was all my choice, he'd be here, and if he needs a little bit of time, it's a little seasoning, great. But if not, my guess is towards he's going to like this player, and we'll see where it goes. But again, we'll figure that out as the summer goes on after talking to his people.
Last season, I know Bobby came back from injury, but he kind of jumped in right during ramping up for playoffs, having had some rest. What did you see from him this game?
Well, he had the puck a lot tonight. He's probably going to have a nightmare. He missed about 7 grade A's, but no, he's having fun again. You could tell he was really frustrated last year, and even when he came back, he wasn't. You're always thinking about the hip or whatever, and it took him a while to get going. I thought he was one of our better players in the playoffs and down the stretch, but again, that injury just takes a long time to get going. So I think this summer is great for him. Hopefully he finishes strong and get back to where he was, or get past where he was actually, because he's free to work out with no restraints anymore. So
Go back to Andre for a second. It seemed like just watching the scrimmage, he was on the ice almost every other shift. Was that intentional on the parts of the coaches?
No, we had some guys injured, so the bench got short, and that's kind of why they had a stoppage partway through the first, and that's kind of why we went to 4-on-4 and 3-on-3, just because we're missing some bodies. But no, he likes to play though. We had a number of guys that like to be out there, so it wasn't a big deal to them.
I know the camp is more about development than individual evaluation, but when you see a guy like Bump do something like tonight, and I guess for overall, does that give you something to think about?
Yeah, that's what he's been. I think he's one player though that has made huge strides physically from a year ago. Last year he's kind of just a naive high school kid that came in here. I think he did a year in the USHL, and he's put in his time wisely since the off season. So his testing, I know from talking to the strength guys from last year to this year, is one of the most drastically improved players. So, and he can see it. He's just stronger on the skates. Skating still has to come a little bit, but it's top end speed's fine, and he just knows how to score. I was talking to John Leclerc earlier, and there's kids that can really shoot the puck. Most of these guys can really shoot the puck, but there's guys that can just score, and he seems to have a knack of that. So.
First time seeing Helge Grans in a Flyers uniform. What were your impressions?
Well, he's kind of as advertised. I think he's, he's a big, rangy guy, great shot. He's got decent hands. He's got all the tools, and we just got to get him to put it together. And I think there's still room for him to get stronger physically. Be harder to play against down low and in battle situations. But I think he came in here had a great attitude, and I think it helped that he's familiar with a couple of our guys there. So the transition's easier. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he is in camp.
Samu Tuamala told us a couple days ago that he's going to be coming over full-time to North America this year. Watching him tonight, it seemed like he had a very simple approach. Just be fast, get in the forecheck, and attack. Is that kind of what you guys are telling him? That if he's going to make it in North America, he's got to simplify things a bit?
No, I don't think that was us. I think that's part of where his game was at last year. But no, we want him to be free to create offense. At the same time, he's got to manage the puck and do certain things, and just learn to use his speed and his shot. Like he's got dynamic tools, and it's just about using it. And it's going to be an adjustment for the game over here, smaller ice and physicality and things like that. But no, he's come in great shape, skating well. He seems confident. He's having fun playing the game. I know last year when I met with him in November over there, and he's really lacked confidence. And for a guy that's known for scoring goals and generating offense, confidence is everything, and he didn't have it. So I think when he went down there, he scored some goals, and he's feeling better about himself. And I think having a big summer here, and hopefully come to camp and show what he can do.
With Desnoyers, we saw him for 4 games last year. He said his mindset is he wants to push for the Flyers in camp. Do you think he could have a decent shot to try to grab a job?
Yeah, well, he won't surprise me ever. That kid, he's I think you guys have probably talked to him enough to know that he's extremely driven. He'll do whatever he can to try to make it. If it's this year, next year, or partway through the year, he's going to do whatever he can. But he's a very intelligent player, and he's a player that coaches kind of gravitate towards because he can be trusted in all situations, defensive zone, offensive zone, and he goes to the net, he stops at the net, he fights for loose pucks, and he's just a likable player.
We talked to Coach Morey, and she said that the tempo of the camp was a little faster this year. Is that something that was a conscious effort to?
I think that was, I think we talked about that a little bit. It's just less standing around talking on chalkboards, get everything going. So, there's a teaching element that can be. They did a pretty good job of doing that before practice started, and they blew it down when they needed to. But other than that, it was, they weren't out there maybe as long this year. But I thought when they were on the ice, it was at a higher pace and more productive, I think.
With regards to, you mentioned the guys that got banged up a little over the course of camp, or maybe came in a little banged up.
Yeah.
Any serious injuries there, or all minor things?
No. I don't know, do you want to run through them? I can probably name it if I thought about it.
Like Barkey.
Barkey's he sprained his ankle in the finals, game 4, I think he said, and he's pretty pissed off we wouldn't let him play. But it's just that's not an injury we want to linger throughout the summer. So he spent a lot of time in the gym, and he'll be anxious to get out there in training camp.
Cernak.
Cernak just growing. So.
You mentioned like for some of the younger guys, this is more like they're feeling it out. It can take them a little while to get going. But how important is this for you in looking at your draft class, and what did you think of them?
Well, first of all, it's a couple of them didn't participate, so it's a little bit hard. But I thought Knuble, when he was here, is as advertised. He's a real competitive kid. He's got a little bit of that Desnoyers game as far as he's dog on a bone, and he looks like an overachiever, just the way he competes, and he's smart. His details are really good, and he's going to a good program. He's got to get stronger. He knows that. But from where he came from a year ago to now is exciting, and obviously he fit in well here. He's familiar. He knows probably more staff name than I do half the time, but he's been here lots before, so I think there's a comfort level just naturally for him. So it was good.
He sang the orange and black for us.
And, he did in the combine for us too. But Bjarnason, certainly has the size, the athleticism, the look of a goaltender, and I think Deli and Brady are really excited to work with him going forward. And know his goalie coach well, and Brandon, and he's a guy that just has so much to work with at this point. So we're excited about him. Cernak, he's on the ice, if you saw the skating drills and between his edges and his stick handling and all that, just the natural ability he has. So he's a real interesting player, and obviously he's got some work to do in the gym and get stronger, and we'll see where he is in a couple of years. But I'm hoping I talked to his agent, so we're hoping he comes to rookie camp just for a week and won't miss too much time over there, but we'll see where that one goes.